Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Aatiya, and we discuss everything about higher education, PhD, mindset, productivity over here. For past couple of days, I've been thinking of making some changes to my channel. Changes in the sense not deleting what I was doing earlier, but just upgrading to a different new levels. I've been meditating a lot and I'm getting some insights as to what I should be doing next. Today's video is a part of that. I keep getting comments related to your problems with respect to research, with respect to frustration of job or anything of that sort. I don't know if I'm going to turn this into a series or what. Henceforth, some videos will be dedicated to your comments, okay? If I feel it deserves a mention in the video, if you want to know my take on that particular problem. That said, I just wanted to put out there that I'm no therapist, I'm no counselor, I have no certification in coaching or anything, but I have been in academia for several years now. I'm a research scholar full-time, pursuing my PhD. There are a lot of things that I faced and there are a lot of things that I know now because of the kind of exposure that I've got in good way or in bad way. So I just want to share all that with you. Today's episode would be a reader's query, and that person had put a comment on my channel. I will be reading out the letter. All these things will be anonymous. Your identity won't be revealed, whether it is a comment or a personal email. So you can be rest assured of that. The second announcement that I want to make is, as a research scholar, I get a lot of insider news as to what kind of fellowships are going on, what are the fundings being raised, overall what all things are going on in the sphere of research and higher education with respect to exams, with respect to different fellowship. So it doesn't make sense if I keep it to myself and don't share it with you. The initial plan was to shoot an extra video. 2 videos are going out on Thursday and Sunday. One video was supposed to be extra that gives you all the updates related to that. But the problem is that right now my hands are full. I don't have many resources because this is still not a channel which is monetized and I'm able to recruit people for editing and all. So if I shoot a video, then editing and all that becomes little a hassle and it affects my work, PhD and all that. And secondly, what it is sometimes some fellowship and some programs have deadlines in 2 days, in 1 day. So I cannot wait for the video to be filmed and edited and uploaded by the time the deadline would have gone. So what I've decided is this. You will check the community tab on this channel. All the information that I get, whether it is related to a scholarship, fellowship, anything, that will go on in text form over there. All the links would be provided, and this in no way would be sponsored or anything. So on my channel, there is videos, playlist, there is also community. So just click on that and you will see the notification very soon. By the time this video has gone live, I would have already published few of the updates. So let me know what you feel regarding this. If you want to know anything regarding any scheme or anything, just shoot down in the comments below and I'll be more than ready to help. So that was it regarding the second one. The third announcement, the course is getting delayed. It will take some time. I'm just too busy with my work, experiment work, PhD, and I'm trying my best to finish at least wet lab work this year. But you can be rest assured that what I've put in PhD playlist, that is as valuable as my course, PhD fellowships and PhD. These are the 2 things you keep checking, so it will give you all the resources that are required. That's what I wanted to just put out there, that I'm making some changes and you need to know about it. It's not that I'm stopping the previous content that I was making. These are just additions, okay? Nothing is going to get subtracted. What was going on, it will continue. And if you are not liking also particular style of video and particular kind of video, then you let me know. Beginning with today's letter, I got a comment recently. I have to say that I could really relate with all the things. We feel that our problems are our problems. Our problems are everyone's problems. Everybody goes through all that insecurity and all that. Let me read it. So I'm a 30-year-old female. I have qualified NET JRF and about to finish MEd. I feel completely lost on what I should do next. I will be getting married in a year. I've never thought of doing PhD before. So should I go for a job along with part-time PhD or take admission to full-time course after some time? Things are already happening in my life at a delay, and I don't want my personal life to get affected because of PhD. I don't think I'm intelligent, and I don't want to have any regrets in life. I don't know what to do. So when I read this letter, I remembered my time when I was about to take admission for the course. Even I was, I think, around 28 when I took admission. I can completely relate to what is going on. And trust me, we all have gone through that, and I'm going to share my take. What I want other viewers to do is you will give your advice in the comment section. Whatever it is, be respectful. The name that I give this person is Candle. Others will give their feedback also in comments. Whether you agree to my advice, disagree, and if you disagree, then give your advice. We have a healthy discussion, and it becomes good point for everyone to discuss their problems without disclosing identity. So let's begin. I came across a Merriam-Williamson quote, which goes by this: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And this is something that this letter needs. And I will come to that point by point. I have pinpointed 4 issues, okay, of all this, and I will tell you. First one, that the feeling of staying behind in life. Second is overthinking. Third is fear of relationships getting affected. And fourth is sabotaging yourself. I have my notes with me, so if I keep looking down, please excuse me. Let's address it one by one. Why do we feel left behind? Because we are seeing everything in relation to others. We are thinking in terms of linear time. Now, I have spoken about this in my previous videos also, if you are a regular. Linear time and quantum time. What does linear time mean? Time is linear. So if you finish at this, the next thing you can start only at this, okay, when this gets over. We are rooted in that kind of psychology. But that is a construct that we have put on ourselves. You need not follow that, and I'll explain it with an example. Say suppose you are at a station, railway station. Let's take a majority example. You are at a railway station. A train gets late. Does it mean that it will reach also the destination late? There are 3 situations that can happen. A train comes late and reaches late. A train comes on time and reaches time. Third situation is a train reaches late and still reaches on time. Why is that? Think this, I'm giving everyday example. So why is that? It's because the train made up for that distance. When we are thinking in terms of linear time, the first 2 examples are applicable. When we are thinking of quantum time, the third example is applicable. I'm not sure if it's Einstein or Newton. They proposed this idea of quantum time. Whatever accolades or awards they got, it's because of this. Because we always think of time pace that we are. If our mental thinking is at this level, then time will be this. Maybe if you had taken admission earlier, or if you have done everything right, maybe it could have led to a disaster. Maybe you could have got a bad supervisor and you would have forced to leave. You could have got some kind of illness and you were forced to leave PhD. How do you know that what you are thinking is delay is not working in your favor? And how do you know that what you have lost was surely in your favor? So these things are very relative, and it happens because we compare our timeline to others. Now say suppose somebody is broke for entire life and suddenly he gets a lottery or anything, or he starts a business and he can turn into a millionaire overnight. That period, somebody else who is looking from outside may think that that period was a struggle, but maybe it was not a struggle and he was meant to do those kinds of achievements at that point of time in his lifetime. The first thing to understand is not to compare yourself with others. This word delay is relative, okay, and it's a social construct. I have done a detailed video on feeling behind in life. I'll link it somewhere or in the end screen, so that will do the job for you. The next point is overthinking. And what I mean by that is when we have not started the process, we tend to analyze things in a different way as compared to what we would analyze when we are in the process. So I used to always think that when I was just about to start this course, my PhD, that I won't be able to finish on time, I would get failure in experiments and all that. But these things really affect the way you think, and it really confuses you. And now that I'm in fourth year, I have finished so many experiments successfully. I'm doing well. Whatever other people say, it doesn't really matter because I know that I'm going to get to my target. Instead of analyzing things to an extent, why don't you start a process? I will come to this point in the subsequent sections. Even before starting the experiments, I always had this feeling that I would need this. But I didn't need all of that. I just needed a little presence of mind and try to articulate and manage things in a way that I understood. When we are thinking of something, our whole thinking, can be a result of a consciousness. That means that is what we are. Our thought patterns are nothing but our consciousness. Our consciousness before starting the process and after starting the process. These are two different things. Right now you are in the stage of before. It's not after. So I just want you to be mindful of that. Third thing is relationships getting affected. I'll be honest. Since I've started my PhD, my focus has been more my work rather than family or anything. Right now I'm staying near my college. My house is quite far. That means it takes 1.5 hours to reach. So earlier I used to go every weekends and all that. But now I cannot because sometimes I have set experiments and I just cannot leave. But that said, work-life balance is on you. When I know that I cannot go this weekend to my home, what I do is I take breaks in between and I spend time with family. Instead of going every week, I sometimes now go every fortnight or every month and spend more amount of time. The work-life balance is not in textbooks, it's in our head. So whether you have to manage your family or manage your PhD or manage anything else, it depends on how you do time management and how well you are mentally stable. If you get frustrated with everything and all that, it will boil up. And even if you spend time with your family, there will be quarrels, there will be different arguments and all that. We also should think in terms of quality as well as quantities. Since you mentioned that you are getting married, you will be able to speak your problems to your spouse. Make it your support system. Take your spouse in confidence rather than just thinking about that you have to manage it all alone. You don't have to manage it all alone. Your family would be there. Even if one person in your family supports you, that is more than sufficient. You just need to know that somebody has your back. As far as your letter is concerned, what happens in PhD is sometimes you get frustrated and all that, and you tend to remove that on your family. This has happened with me. So what I do now is that I take therapy and I confide what I feel and all that to my therapist. So all the junk, all the trash in my head goes to her, and I avoid speaking much to my colleagues. This is one approach that you can take. But rest assured, getting married would be a strength rather than a weakness in my opinions. Even I wish that I had such a support when I had started my research, honestly speaking. So this is something that you can cash in your favor instead of thinking that things are working against you. And regarding your questions related to whether it should be part-time or full-time, see, part-time has its own benefits. Full-time has its own benefits. I have spoken in detail about whether part-time is good or full-time is good, and I have given a depth of comparison. I think I've discussed 15 to 20 points related to this in an in-depth video over here. I will link it somewhere. You will have to check it in PhD playlist, so it will be there. It is part-time versus full-time. That is the thumbnail title. I don't think you are confused whether it is part-time or full-time. But just there are few insecurities that you need to address. Coming to the next point, feeling that I'm not intelligent and all that. PhD does not require intelligence. Trust me. I have seen gold medalists in masters crying and crying in the course, and I've seen students who have never cleared a single entrance coming out with flying colors. If you have patience and collaboration, ability to collaborate, that is more than sufficient for PhD. Okay, you need not be an expert in your subject. You are going to learn more about it. Whether you like it or don't like it, you are going to learn more about the topic. You need not be an A scholar. I don't know what is the definition of intelligence in your terms, but what I'm assuming is for many people, intelligence is getting good grades, getting an accolade and all that. Managing day-to-day life is also an intelligence. Ability to stick around and endure, be aligned to your target, that is also an intelligence. We need to think of intelligence in these broad terms rather than just stick with one particular definition of intelligence that the society has put on us. Let the process decide whether you are intelligent or no. Okay, why you are taking the pressure of thinking whether you are intelligent or no? Taking admission for the course, let the PhD decide whether you are intelligent or not. You don't have to do that hard work of deciding for yourself. See, whether you should do PhD or should not do PhD, this question you have answered for yourself. If subconsciously you were not thinking about PhD, then you wouldn't have asked this question. That means subconsciously, somewhere that seed is there that maybe I should do PhD, because PhD has its own benefit. Whether you are going in academia, you are going in research, or even you are going in other fields, you have PhD. That means it puts you on a pedestal, and if somebody is masters or anybody is applying, you will get a preference. That is for sure. There is no doubt about it. Now your problem is confusion. I wish to suggest something. Whether full-time PhD or part-time PhD. Instead of making this decision now, just make this decision of starting some kind of process. Okay, whether it is job, you can leave after 6 months. PhD does not require any kind of work experience on paper. But for you, I would suggest take 6 months. You have to do PhD or go for part-time or full-time. That will become clear in those 6 months. But those 6 months should not be you sitting at home. Those 6 months should be you doing a job, whether it is research, academics or anything. Because when we are out of the system, we tend to think things differently, as I said earlier. For me also, my motivation increased when I started doing a job. I was working as assistant professor. When I was working also, I had this dilemma as to what I should do. But I started getting contacts when I was teaching, and people suggested me to certain supervisors who were good. People suggested me what kind of work areas are booming now, where if I do PhD, it will be a hit. So all that, I started getting the news, and this wouldn't have happened if I sat at home or if I was doing something else. Instead of making the decision right away, if you are not sure, if you are sure you want to do full-time PhD, then go for it. Full-time PhD requires 5 years of dedication. But if you are unsure, this is what I would suggest. Do 6 months job, and those 6 months, let things come to you. Okay? Instead of you searching for information, let things come to you and let the information come to you, because that will eventually happen. Whether you do any kind of job, as long as it is teaching or as long as it is research or company or pharma, whatever. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share in today's video. Let me know if you like such kind of videos, because I'm starting this. I'm not starting, I don't know if I'm starting, but such video I've done first time on this channel. I'm not how well it will be received. If others who are watching this video, you will write a comment giving your advice and your take on what should happen. Shoot in the comments.
Okay.
Bye.